Hello, that's us, your beer jumping and nostalgic hosts. This week, looking at Wild at Heart. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
We had to, that was like our fourth time trying to start the podcast today, everyone. It's, it's hard to say three, two, one and go at the same time. And I always think of Wayne's World, the movie. Three, two, one, go.
Yeah,
So the crack is you and I just hung
we
out.
did. Straight.
We did. So I just got back from the UK.
Hmm.
Tour of I don't know. It's gonna make it sound like it doesn't matter. I'm an American in the UK. I told a lot of people I was Canadian.
Smart.
No, but it was good.
Hmm.
We met at Oxford and hung out. Andy came for the weekend while Mike was he had class for a couple days, and yeah, Andy and I, went to school at Oxford for
We
three
did.
days,
We did.
aka the pub.
Yeah, I mean, like
The
we did like
pubs.
we closed down a bar on the Saturday night, which I have not done in like a long time, like 10, 15 years. It's insane.
I don't think I've ever closed down a bar.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure it was, yeah. Um, it was so fun. It was so
It
good to
was.
see you. Like that we had this cool little apartment
Hmm.
or flat and we did the museuming. But the coolest thing
Hmm.
we did was we went to
Yeah, we
Stonehenge.
did.
Uh, and we took off our shoes
We
and
did.
we got our Stonehenge on with bare
Hmm.
feet.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, I have to ask, did you feel anything when you took your feet off at Stonehenge?
No, I don't think so. Like I was really interested in it. I was really kind of like really in touch with like what she was talking about, and I kind of find the kind of like history of it really beautiful and kind of quite moving. I
Hmm.
kind of find it quite humbling, looking at things like whatever she was like, here are the stones, and here are things that people have carved into the stones that are so old in and of themselves that they are almost faded down to nothing. I find that kind of, these big sort of testaments to this enormous passage of time are just really
Yeah.
kind of like I don't know.
The
It really
carving that he's referring to said Jenny plus Chad, but
it did. And Chad, as we know, an ancient historical name.
right.
And but yes, it was really so I thought that I don't know that I felt any energy, but I think like I was in kind of in awe of it.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I didn't expect her to say like there were lots of rules and we had the extra special tour, so we actually got to go inside Stonehenge. The rest of the peons had to stand on the other side of
Hmm.
this little
Hmm.
rope.
And watch us.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, so we got a full tour and basically like the upshot was like they don't know why that it's there. They
Yep.
don't know how, when it, they have an idea of like when it was being built. Um, but the idea that they're like hauling all these stones all the way from Wales and but first they build the circle that with the moat around it. I don't know. It didn't quite make sense to me, but if you're doing this over like thousands of years, 1,000 years, then obviously like, it's like we have malls now, and that took a long time from
It did
Stonehenge
take a
to
while.
mall.
We
So
we've perfected them all now, thankfully,
yeah,
so
basically. So good job, Stonehenge.
exactly.
Not built by aliens, just early mall
Hey,
employees.
hey, not that we know of. Let's
But no
not
one
rule it
really
out.
knows.
Let's not rule it out, okay? No, it was like it was pretty incredible. Like it's made me also because we talked about like Newgrange and Ireland and things like that. And it makes me kind of want to visit more of these like historical sites. Like I was thinking there about like other sites I've been to that like I maybe have felt an energy at, and it was like in whenever I did the Fire Festival. I think I told
Hmm.
you about it in Ireland. Like I definitely felt something there, but two things may have come into play there. A, I had taken mushrooms, and B, I was shocked by an electric fence. So
Yeah,
that might have been the energy that I was feeling. So let's,
right, right.
who knows? There was something there certainly anyway.
I'm just curious, like which one of those happened first, but that's okay.
Yeah, let's for fear of getting myself in trouble, I'll never say. Um,
But
okay.
yeah, So then we dropped you off at the train
Yeah,
station.
drunk,
Cried for drunk cried. It was great though. It's so
but
much fun. It was just so much
it
fun.
was, it was, yeah,
Um,
I had like a 3 day hangover.
I think I did too. And so yeah, the next day we got up and we drove to we decided not to we were gonna go to Wales for fish and chips they had gluten-free fish and
Oh, did you
chips.
get them?
We did not go there.
Fuck.
We
Okay.
ended up Mike woke up and he was like we were super hungover because we had just yeah, we were just like sad about you leaving. So yeah, we
Hmm.
got drunk
Hell
and
yeah.
uh then woke up the next day and Mike was like, there's no way I want to drive 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's fair.
And so we decided instead we were going to drive. He retooled everything, canceled the hotel in Wales,
Uh-huh.
and we went to Stratford upon Avon,
Uh-huh.
where Shakespeare was born.
Yes.
And
Hence the
uh,
photo. Hmm.
yes, so that was really cool. And I, I I didn't quite understand because like the Avon River you cross in Oxford, across the river Avon, I don't know, over this whole trip probably like 10 or 12 times.
Oh, interesting.
So, um it's a, old river. There's a term for that where it's like very windy. I don't remember what it's called.
Uh-huh.
Mike would know, but he's in the other room and I'm not going to go get him.
Yeah.
So we did that. Um, Went and saw. It was great. It's just like Avon's a Stratford upon Avon. I don't know how people refer to it, Stratford or upon or on. It's an interesting name of a town, and I don't quite understand why it's called what it's called, but that's okay. I'll Google it.
Hmm.
Or if somebody else wants to Google that for me, that's fine. Then the next day we got up and we went to Bath, which
Hmm.
was not my favorite place ever.
Uh-huh.
That was the place where everyone was like, you gotta go, you gotta go. And they have these great Roman, it's like the Romans ended up, some Romans left Rome, ended up there, and
Yeah.
basically built the same Roman bath setup. And they discovered it that, under the city, these Roman baths existed. So you could take these tours. Um, but I don't know, it was just like way more touristy and it was just a lot of tourists, I guess, after being at Stonehenge and like Oxford. It was just
That's
a lot of
true.
people all in. Yeah. So we got up the next day and drove to like Avebury.
Okay.
And I sent Andy a video of so
Oh
they have
yeah.
another, I guess what do you call them? They're not henges. What do you call them? Those big rocks.
Oh God. I don't know. I know
There's
you're
a
talking
term
about.
for it. Yeah, so I'm gonna call it for the sake of keeping this conversation going, I'll call it a henge. But they have all these henges everywhere. So it's this little old town, that I think these might be older than Stonehenge actually, but it's not as well known. And you can literally like people are like laying up against them eating lunch, and then they actually have sheep that they rotate around these fields, and these all these henges are in all these fields.
Hmm.
When you look at it, like aerial photo, like it's cool. There's patterns, there's circles, dead bodies in a giant hill.
Hell yeah.
Um, and but my favorite part was like all these sheep were just like rubbing their heads and their butts against all these hedges that are like Neolithic.
Amazing.
I think it's either limestone or sandstone. I think it's maybe sandstone. Doesn't matter because they both are very brittle and fall
Hmm.
apart very
Hmm. It's
easily.
true.
So the bottoms of all these rocks have obviously just been like worn down like a tooth because all of these little sheep butts. So
I love
it
it.
was great.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, it kind of, you continue to be envious of like the animal life that just like has no sort of understanding or regard for like
Of
our
time
our
or
our
yeah.
time and of our dumb human world as well, which
Yeah,
is, it's nice.
yeah, yeah.
It makes me sad that they're impacted by it as much as they are, but also they just are completely disconnected from it in a very wonderful way.
I agree. I had that same thought where I'm like they d don't care, and at some point someone's going to be like, maybe we shouldn't let the sheep rub their butts anymore, and that will be a sad day.
Yes,
Because it was just
agreed.
great to just be in this giant pasture with all the like they were like I don't know 50 or 60 sheep,
Hmm.
and it was like one of my favorite moments of my entire life. So, and not to make it sad, but I did leave some of my dad's ashes
Nice.
in Stratford and also under a rock at Avebury before I understood about the sheep rubbing their butts on the rocks. So my dad's ashes are going to be tread on by sheep and probably
Based on what I know about your dad, I think he would appreciate the humor in that,
that's
though,
kind of what I thought too.
right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. So it was all in all fabulous trip,
Yeah,
10 out of 10. And Andy's lucky that we're coming back in July, and we're
yeah.
coming. Not only that, we're coming to Northern Ireland
Oh yeah.
to see you. Oh yeah,
Yeah, which is we need to plan that trip.
I
Yeah,
know.
no, that rocks. I'm glad that you found because I know we were hoping to maybe spread some of the ashes at Stonehenge, so I'm glad you found
Yeah,
somewhere
and there
that
was
sounds
like
lovely.
literally on like they had like 5 rules, like
Yes.
don't touch the rocks, don't you know, don't carve your name on the rocks,
Yeah. I
Chad
mean
and
that's
Jenny.
fair.
And
Yeah.
don't spread your dad's ashes, Beth Merton. That was the
Yeah.
other one. And I was like, shit, I can't.
Yeah. No, amazing.
Yeah.
So, I say, yeah, spent 3 times, 3 days over there with Beth and Mike. It was lovely. We had a great time. Did I? Oh, yes, I also did a park run there, which was nice.
You did. He got up
And
and went for a run.
yeah, like a fucking idiot. And but it was lovely time. But also there was something else fairly seismic happened over there, Beth, which we've talked about.
Oh yes. I'm very
Andy
excited.
has entered his necklace era.
Yes.
Um, I'm wearing necklaces now. I've got two really nice ones that I can
One
be
from
wearing. One from
Stonehenge
Stonehenge, which I love, and one from the Natural History Museum, which I also love.
in
I'm
Oxford.
thinking of
Yep.
doubling up on them sometimes, but
I would do
this is
that.
just a general declaration. I will not be taking any questions on this, and I will not be accepting any pushback on this whatsoever. You
Nope.
just need to accept it that I am in my necklace era, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
So.
he's wearing necklaces now. And we're here for it. He's wearing one. If anyone is not watching, you could see it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm taking it out right now. I'm sure this
Yeah.
will be a clip, so you
I
can
was
watch
like,
the
he better
clip.
be wearing one of his
Of
necklaces because
course.
we're in the era of that.
We are, so you just have to accept that, everybody.
Hmm.
Um, what other things have I done since I saw you last? I did see the cinematic masterpiece that was Mortal Kombat 2. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just what I was looking
Was it
for.
good?
I mean, like, I watched the first one, which was came out in 2021 as a way to kind of like go, okay, so just I need to know what's going on happening here, and I got all the way through to the end, and then I was like, I think I've seen that before, but I had basically no memory of it, which was not good for a movie that came out in 2021. But there you go. Um, but I have to go and support. Obviously, my good friend Carl Urban was in there, so I had to go and support him as well, and he was
Oh
great.
yeah. Oh
He was
yeah.
great. So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. It was like it was really dumb, but it was like it had some good action, and yeah, I had a good time with it. I think that's the only cinema excursions I've been to, and all I've been really because I've been doing like, I've been obviously I had we talked about it in last week's episode, but I had a weekend away before the
Hmm.
weekend in Oxford, so I was just kind of like turtling up and not spending any money. So I've not been going anywhere or doing much since I saw you. So, but that's
Us
fine.
either.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. You got to. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta pay the piper for your lovely trips.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's all the crack with me at the minute, Beth. Do you have any what's current for us?
I do. So I was chatting with Top Fan
Hmm.
about Lost Highway.
Oh, he was thrilled that we're doing it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So we do take requests, guys, and we
we
do
do.
listen to you. We do. So please, if you have anything you want us to watch, we will. It's on. We will add
We'll
it. We have a
consider
list
it.
going.
And don't try to be a
Yeah.
funny guy or girl, all right? Send us serious suggestions, okay? Okay, we don't really mind. You
No,
can't send us
we'll
funny
watch
ones if you
anything.
want. Yeah,
No, yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Don't
Basically.
maybe not the Human Centipede trilogy, but apart from that.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh no.
Oh
Let's
no.
not go down this side
Like
road.
all
Continue
the
that
Chucky
thought.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Top Fan says Lost Highway is my favorite David Lynch film. Really stoked to hear you guys relate your experience to it. Okay. This is okay. I saw it in
Mhm.
the cinema at age 17. So again, it got me in my own golden age when I was an impressionable and arrogant young man, a rock star in his own head. But I was already a Lynch fan, particularly because of Wild at Heart, which we're talking about today,
Yep.
and Blue Velvet. The genuine moments of horror. Have we met? We've met before, haven't we? And the dark humor and the dark eroticism are, to this day, distinctly bolder and more accomplished than Lynch's pale imitators. Sorry, guys,
Mhm.
I can never say words. And excuse this bit of being TMI. He gave me permission to share this. But when I saw it, I had not long started university where I met a girl who was a little bit older and a lot more experienced than me, and I took her to see it, and it made her horny. So thank you, David Lynch, for contributing to some of the best memories of my late teens. That's the mark of the true master artist.
Absolutely. What a skill set Lynch has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The full gamut.
I
Uh,
wonder how many people have that like same experience and
that's true.
gratitude for David Lynch.
Yeah, that's true. Like he does get quite horny in a lot of his movies. Like, and this is
Yeah.
another one. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I'd seen this before, but I didn't have a lot of memory. I remember enjoying it as a kid, but like I had forgotten just how horny it is. Like, it is super super horny. Um, but like, yeah, it's interesting. So like, since we did that episode, I've been thinking a bit about, and I'm pretty certain Lost Highway was the first Lynch film I saw in the cinema too. I think
Hmm.
I'd seen Eraserhead beforehand. I'm not sure whether I watched Wild at Heart before or afterwards, but I'm pretty certain, like, as a young, like a budding cinephile, I think I've mentioned this. I would like Channel 4 used to like late into the night would show things like Eraserhead and kind of like outsider sort of movies. So I would like make the effort to stay up and watch them, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was yeah, Wild at Heart was just a trip, I guess. But I think, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Lost Highway, I'm pretty certain was one I saw in the movies as well. I think, again, going, I need to start seeing, this is the sort of thing I need to start seeing. And it really kind of like blowing me away at the time.
Yeah, I think Blue Velvet was my first one that I saw, and I
Mm,
was kind of like, what the fuck?
yeah,
And then I saw Mulholland Drive, and I was like, what the fuck?
yeah.
And honestly, well, we can get into it,
I
but yeah,
think Mulholland Drive's maybe my favorite of his. I think it's the one that
I
kind of
own
is the
that. I
most.
still like, yeah, I have it on DVD, and I remember like when Mike and I were first dating, I was like, we met in LA for the weekend, and I was like, we have to go on Mulholland Drive because of this movie,
Uh-huh.
and it was worth it. Great
Glad.
views, I'll say.
Um,
Definitely no making out. Thank you, David Lynch.
Okay. Do you have any more what's current for us, or shall we move on
No, I've
to
got
our
to
subject?
clarify. I've got a clarification
All right,
station,
hit me
which
up.
I'm surprised I don't get more of these.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone, for not, uh, you know, for giving me a little bit of leeway to make
Yeah.
mistakes.
Give us some grace.
Um, so I had made um a reference to re re I can't remember which episode, it doesn't matter. So I had mentioned that Shrek was based off of George the Animal Steel.
Yes.
It's actually based off the French angel Maurice Tillet, which I've seen the photo of Maurice Tillet. Everybody should go look at it because you look at it and you're like, oh, that's totally Shrek. Uh, and I, for some reason, put those two people together. I don't
Okay.
know why. Oh, it was because of Ed Wood. That's
I
what
was
it
I was
was.
gonna say it must be the Ed Wood episode
Yeah.
because George Animal State was in that.
Yep. So
Interesting.
so yeah. So Shrek was based off of the French angel Maurice Tillet, Tillet,
Okay, okay,
because I can
okay.
pronounce
Oh,
things.
yes, yes, yes. I've seen this
Yeah,
guy.
right. Yeah,
Yep, yep,
yeah.
yep, yep,
There's a
yep.
photo of him like holding, like he's huge, and
Yes,
he's holding like this little damsel. I think it might have been
yes.
his wife.
It's
Doesn't
very
matter.
Shrek coded, yeah.
Yeah. So
Love
yeah.
it.
So that's what I got there. Do you
Okay.
wanna? Okay, I think
So
like
we
we both want to talk about Wild at Heart.
Yeah, let's get into it. So
Okay.
our subject for this week is Wild at Heart. It's the second of
Mm-hmm.
our Nicolas Cage proper season. Um, and yeah, a very different film to Raising Ours. Tonally, quite a whiplash,
Yeah.
but very interesting to revisit. One, I definitely have watched, and there was bits and pieces I remembered about it, but like broadly, I'd forgotten nearly all of it.
I've never seen it
Oh, you've
before,
never
so I
seen it
was
before?
like, no, no.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
quick synopsis. Lulu's, for those of you who just need a memory jog and didn't pre-watch the movie like we told you to, or
Yeah.
asked you to. So
No, we told
Lula's,
Beth asked, I told, okay.
that's right, that's right. No, we didn't. You just, it's volunteer. You don't have to do anything. Okay, Lula's psychopathic mother goes crazy at the thought of Lula being with Sailor, who had just got free from jail. Ignoring Sailor's probation, they set out for California. However, their mother hires a killer to hunt down Sailor. Unaware of this, the two enjoy their journey and themselves being together until they witness a young woman dying in a car accident, which is a bad omen, and things get a little nutty.
They sure do. I actually
I
wrote
mean,
down,
that's not even a very good synopsis. That's like,
no, I
you
mean,
know,
like, I don't know how you could really like distill what this movie is
you
anyway.
can't. No.
Because like, and there's certain angles to it, and there's certain sort of situations in particular, like Big Tuna or the like, and I
Hmm.
meant, the kind of like assassins sort of like league type thing that seems to be going on as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard Falls aspect, yeah. Um, One of the things I wrote down was, and in about like 10, 15 minutes of watching this movie, I wrote down her mother may have some issues.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
fair to say,
maybe.
right?
Maybe. I
I
think
don't
it's
know
like
what gave it away.
it's more like when you're holding your it was the lipstick and the crying and the puking in the toilet over a phone call, and then also like when she's talking about, killing anyone, and whenever she wants to do that, she's always like got these red hooks
Oh
of
yeah.
like her long fingernails, and yeah,
It,
she's a piece of work.
is whenever I think I can't remember how it appears, but at one point there's like a kind of like a jump scare of her, and she's put lipstick all over her face, and her face is
Yes.
just this mask of red, and it's like,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah. And I was
uh-oh,
like, did something happen? Did I miss something?
yeah,
Did I leave the room at the wrong time? That didn't happen. I didn't actually leave the room. Yes, I did.
yeah,
It was a 2 hour movie, you guys. We
it
try.
was, it was,
But yeah, that was like, I was like, is it blood or is it lipstick? Uh, and it was definitely lipstick.
yeah, 100%.
So then I ran and got my lipstick and I rubbed it all over my face
Hell yeah. I mean,
and
like,
went and also puked in the toilet, which is totally normal. It's what you
perfect,
do.
perfect. It's a good reaction to stuff, you know.
I
It's
know.
definitely a normal scene way to react to things that are happening. Um, yeah, it's like, I suppose as well, in terms of like trying to do a synopsis for this film, it is very difficult. I think it's very difficult generally for any Lynch film, really, because they're not supposed to have traditional sort of narratives. I think that though, compared to like some of his other films, it's more of a straight line than a lot
Yeah.
of other things, I mean, like it's broadly them on the run. And then they spend a big chunk of time, most of, I'd say, this kind of back half of the movie in Big Tuna, basically,
They start in Cape Fear, they end up in Big Tuna.
Yeah, Big Tuna rocks. Big Tuna,
Have you
Big
seen
Tuna,
Cape
I
Fear?
haven't.
Oh,
So add that to the list. It's one I've often
yeah.
thought I should watch, but I've never seen it. I've not seen any
Yeah.
of the versions of it. Um, but I quite like on the way into Big Tuna, there was just a tuna sign that just said "fuck you" on it, and I'm like,
I saw that too. Yeah.
I like we need one of those in Carrick.
Yeah. No,
Just
I liked the
picture the
name of,
castle that says "fuck you."
yeah, just someone. You can do that. We can I can, I'll put the
We'll make it
can
happen
of
when you're
spray
here.
paint with the
Yeah,
kids
yeah,
in the
yeah.
kids' hands. Uh Also, um, I forgot what I was gonna say. That
Okay.
happens.
So we get in. So talking about
Yep.
David Lynch.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we've touched on David Lynch before. I'll not talk too much more about him again. I will talk a little bit about where
There's
he
so
was at
much
with
to
this
say though.
movie. There is so much to say. There really is. Um, so what was interesting to me was as I was watching this, I was like, shit, this is really Twin Peaksy, like in so many ways. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's like both a bit kitschy at all, but also like horrifying, and those kind
Yeah.
of elements are really blended. Like, it feels like obviously there's a big difference in terms of what you can do in TV, certainly back then, versus what you can do on screen. So it felt like a kind of movie version of what Twin Peaks would be, but like again, like hornier and kind of more, I was gonna say more insane, but like Twin Peaks gets really insane at times too, you know. So
Hmm.
anyway, so this was basically he had
It was
filmed
like
the
a vibe.
yeah,
He created a vibe before that was even a thing.
absolutely.
So I
Um,
think in like in layman's terms, like this movie totally has a vibe. Is the dog okay?
no,
Andy
it's
just took
fine.
his headphones
Headphones
off.
off. I was just hearing things, and
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Bark,
Um,
bark, bark.
bark, bark, bark. No, she's in here with me at the minute. She's
Okay.
half asleep.
Oh,
Um,
Sasha.
she so oh, I've lost my train of thought. Where were we? What were
Sorry,
we
I
doing this?
interrupted
Yes,
you.
no, it's all right. So Twin Peaks. So he had already filmed the first episode of Twin Peaks before this came out or directed it, and I think like he only directed some of those. I think I can't remember off the top of my head. So it kind of makes sense that they
All
would
the
share a
Twin
lot of the
Peaks fans
DNA.
are like screaming at you right
I'm
now.
sure they are, and they
They
can fuck
know.
off.
They know which ones he directed.
Yeah. So like this was the movie he kind of like pivoted. So there is a kind of really famous there's sorry, I'm
And
hearing
is
some
someone's
scraping. Can you hear
okay?
it?
Do if someone is someone breaking in your house? Do I need to call the police? I don't want to see you murdered over
Oh
Zoom.
God. I can but wish. It's fine. Right.
I can't but wish.
Uh right, okay. So back on track, Andy. So David Lynch has a project called Ronnie Rocket that he has wanted to make his entire career. And over the years, for a variety of reasons, it has collapsed and has never happened. So basically, two of his projects, one called Ronnie Rocket and one called One Saliva Bubble, both kind of like due to like contractual stuff and other complications. So whenever Dino De Laurentiis, who's a famous kind of movie producer, kind of like his kind of like he became bankrupt, basically it dragged both of those projects down with him.
Mm.
So this was the thing that David Lynch ended up making as a result, just kind of off the back of those projects not coming through. Um, it was a book written by somebody called Barry Gifford. Um, what was really interesting was a bit of a deep dive into this. So basically, one of the guys he worked with on Twin Peaks knew Barry Gifford, chatted to him about it, read the script, loved it, decided to make it himself. He added in a lot of his own flair, which is why it's very still quite Lynchian, despite being somebody else's script, including all the Wizard of Oz stuff. None of that was in the book, none of that was in the original script. But what I thought was really interesting was that there's apparently eight books in the Sailor and Lula series of books, which is like that rocks. So there's a whole saga for these two as things go on. Fascinating. But yeah, so very cool. I thought this was like so it feels like this was all kind of put together quite quickly. It only happened
Yeah.
in the course of like 4 or 5 months, but like, yeah, it's so interesting. Every time we look into like how films are made and like how they can and how easily they can fall apart as well. It's fascinating.
I it's like I love doing that. I'm like, it's a little off topic, but I like, this is what I do. I watch a movie and then I get on Wikipedia and I'm like, why did this happen? I go down these wormholes and like the fact that like we get to do this and we're doing just what I would be doing like in bed at 10:30 at night before I
Yeah,
fall asleep, but with a friend, it's not as
yeah,
lonely. It's
it's
nice.
true. It's true.
Um, so just to like yeah, tagging on that a little bit. So both Barry Gifford and David Lynch wrote the screenplay.
Hmm.
Um, I guess Lynch only was gonna produce the film, but then he read Gifford's book, One of Eight, and he decided he was like, "What if I like?" If I, he was basically like, "Yeah, I'll produce it. You could do whatever, but if I like it, haha, joke, joke." I might end up directing it, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
Yep.
Um, so it's interesting because you were talking about how he changed some things around. He didn't like the ending of
Yes.
the novel, and I guess the ending was they didn't end up together at all, and he was just like, that's not like this is a love
Yeah.
story. I think this is his version of like David Lynch writing a romantic comedy
I think
a little
you could be
bit.
right. Yeah, it is. Like, because I mean, like, it is ultimately hopeful, and like I was also thinking about it in terms of how it was shot. Like, there's like some really kind of like massive differences whenever like in these kind of hopeful scenes versus the kind of more desperate ones. It's really interesting.
It is, and more hopeful than not most of his movies, but this one definitely felt like, you know,
It,
I didn't know how it was going to end, but I felt like they were going to end up together.
yes, yes. I
So,
mean, yes,
um, uh, so the film is noted for its connections to the Wizard of Oz and Elvis Presley, which like I read that ahead of time, so I was like waiting to like kind of really see it like surreptitiously placed in, but it was very, very obvious and it hit you over the head. She
yeah,
was like, "My name's Glinda and I'm in a bubble and you need to do the right thing." And Lula's like got red shoes on and she's like clicking her heels and saying,
yes,
there's no basically like there's no place. Anyways, early test screenings for the film were poorly received.
yeah,
With Lynch estimating that at least 300 people walked out due to its sexual and violent content. So this came out in 1990,
yeah.
and I don't even think what other movies came out around that time, but like I guess this was pre-Natural Born Killers.
Yes, it
Like
was. I think probably very
Tarantino hadn't.
influential in these
Yes,
things.
exactly.
You know.
I think so too. Um, so um, I'm going to quote Lynch. Lynch remembers it was just exactly the right thing at the right time. The book and the violence in America merged in my mind and made
Uh-huh.
many different things happen. Lynch was drawn to what he saw as a really modern romance in a violent world, a picture of finding love in hell. And he was also attracted to a certain amount of fear in the picture, as well as things to dream about. So it seems truthful in some way, which
Yeah,
is like, I kind of watched it with a lazy eye at first because I was like, all right, like we'll see, as I do most
sure.
things in life. But I was like immediately, oh, this is something like I can't believe I've never seen this movie.
Yeah,
Um, and also just how much thought that Lynch really puts into what he does
it's true.
when sometimes it doesn't necessarily look like that.
No, he does. His level of craft is pretty incredible, I must say.
Hmm.
So two movies we have covered already were out in 1990. They are Miller's Crossing and
Ah,
Arachnophobia.
ooh,
Yeah. Also, Goodfellas came out that year, which is a pretty big deal.
yeah, ooh.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this more violent than like Goodfellas? Like, cause
Um,
we need
like there
we'll do a
is
watch of that. But the
violence.
the first
Yeah.
scene is them like like stabbing the guy in the back of the car
Yeah, it's true.
with a butcher
That's a good point.
knife.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. I don't think like the violence in this is really heightened in a way. Like, like the opening scene where he beats the guy to death basically.
Yeah,
It's like
and goes to jail right away.
he goes to jail immediately. It's just like one opening, it's insane. Is like it's not like play for laughs by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also kind of like it doesn't feel like grounded and grisly. It looks kind of like a bit naff and cheesy, and I don't know
Yeah,
whether that's intentional or just due to the budget. I'd say it probably was like because Lynch seems to have such a like strong directorial sort of like focus and control, so it probably was because like so much of this film seems like it lives in just like not massively heightened, but like a kind of like heightened reality just above our own sort of thing.
I agree with you. It didn't feel like reality, and like the colors were off. I don't know what filter he was using, but it kind of had
Yes.
this, I don't know, like beigey
Yes.
overlay.
Yep. Like a
And you'll
sepia.
get into
Yep.
music because the music was a very important part of this
It
movie, I
was.
think. Um, but like it felt like the color of the blood when you would see
Yes.
blood versus the lipstick, and the whole time you're kind of like, that's just not nothing's quite the right color.
I think that was a big part of it because whenever
And
like he
I
did kill the guy, the blood didn't look like blood really.
know, and I was thinking like based on, okay, now knowing that Goodfellas came out the same year and that looks very realistic.
Yes.
You can make you could make blood look real at that time, and I think
Absolutely.
knowing David Lynch as well as we do because we were besties,
Of course.
that was he made it, he didn't want it to look real
Yeah.
necessarily. He
Yeah.
wanted it to look a little bit off, so you would be like, eh.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, talk about music
okay,
because
so
all I can
composer.
hear is Twin Peaks in my head right now.
Yes, I think, but it's so
Bow,
Twin
bow.
Peaksy. But like
It
anyway,
is.
again, and it's also
I'm
the
curious. What's up with the
composer.
music?
So the composer who did Twin Peaks, Angelo Badalamenti, who is like Lynch's longtime collaborator, basically did work on all of his films, did the infamous Twin Peaks music, all of it basically. Um, is also the main composer on this, and I think it is so clear. Like, and again, it's obviously so lives in this time when he has just done the Twin Peaks work. Yep. So I think this was what added to me really feeling like this was, like a kind of a parallel universe Twin Peaks in terms of like, how it looks, how it sounds, all those things. Like, it's a slightly
Hmm.
kind of grittier, a slightly sort of like more dangerous Twin Peaks. Um, so I think again, I say it feels more raw, but it's definitely in his wheelhouse. So obviously so the soundtrack has another kind of or both. I mean, not original songs for the movie, but original songs not by Angelo Badalamenti, like "Wicked Game" by Chris Isaak is one of them. There is also a song called "Slaughterhouse" by thrash metal band Powerhouse. Like it's such I I look at Lulu and Sailor and I think I don't think they're metal people. They're like thrash or hardcore fans, but apparently
Yeah,
so. They just love
yeah,
music.
they
Uh,
do all kinds. Elvis Presley. Also, just
True. Um,
their love is so wild that they'll stop the car and get out and listen and dance to thrash metal on the side of the
they
freeway.
crazy for it, and they go to a thrash metal show at one point as well.
Yeah,
Um, Also, and I think probably most notably, so there are two Elvis songs in this, both performed by Nicolas Cage. Love Me Tender and I didn't write down another one.
love me.
Love Me.
Yeah, because he was
Um,
really good at naming songs. So one is Love Me and
yes.
the other is Love Me
Wow,
Tender.
I don't think I knew that.
Sorry.
Um, so yeah, really great stuff, I think. I mean, like again, I can see how people could listen to his music and go, "What is this shit?" Quite
Yeah,
easily. I really can. But
yeah.
like I think it works. I think like Lynch seems to be so interested in like this idea of Americana and the kind of like all the aspects of it. And I think that he kind of like sums that up really nicely, the composer. I mean, like I think he just kind of captures that really nicely because there's like a kind of like in terms of like the idea of America, I think, especially the kind of America it was depicting, there's like a kind of like a tweeness and like a brightness to it that people imagine. And I think he like dials into that while also like kind of get still giving you this like quite kind of sinister underbelly as well.
Hmm.
And um yeah, so I think, great stuff. And also it's just great hearing Nicolas Cage sing Love Me Tender.
Yeah, he's a super, I mean, he's a super Elvis fan
Yes, yes,
to the point
yes.
where he married Elvis's daughter.
Yes. And did you know
So
that she made my big fact about this was whenever they were married, because he's a big comic book fan as well. Like that's how he got his name. Um, so she
I
made
have that.
him.
That's one of my
Oh,
facts.
is it one of your facts that she made
Yes,
him
so the
give away
fact
his
is,
comic book collection?
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because
Really?
it sounded like she was one of these guys goes, you're a grown man. Why do you have comics? And it's like, oh, that sucks. That's really sad to hear. So yeah,
That's a bummer.
but isn't that a bummer? Um, but yeah, I also like need to do about, I don't know, 15 minutes on his snakeskin jacket, but we can get
Can
there.
we talk about the snakeskin
Let's get into it
jacket?
right now in that
Let's do
case.
it. That was so
Um,
that was my first note was snakeskin jacket.
Incredible. So basically, Nicolas Cage brought that to set and was like, Consular wears snakeskin jacket, which seems like such a Nicolas Cage move. A, that he would own a snakeskin jacket, and B, that he would be like, I think my guy would wear a snakeskin jacket. Um, it makes me wonder how much, you know, some of the stuff that's in the script is either Lynch wrote it or whether it actually speaks to how Nicolas Cage sees himself. Like in terms of like talking about like snakeskin jacket is a sign of my idealism, freedom loving,
Yes.
blah blah blah.
Yes. Okay,
Um,
so here's the fact for the
okay.
so the snakeskin jacket Sailor wears in the film is actually Nicolas Cage's own, which you said.
Uh-huh.
Cage asked director David Lynch if he could wear the jacket in the film as a tribute to Marlon Brando's role in The Fugitive Kind, which came out in 1960.
Okay. I didn't look this up.
So after filming was completed, Cage actually gave that jacket to Laura Dern. So Laura Dern still has a snakeskin jacket, hopefully.
Amazing.
On a side note, The Fugitive Kind was based on the play Orpheus Descending by Diane Ladd's cousin, Tennessee Williams.
Okay.
Okay, so here's some, these are lots of, so Laura Dern plays Lula.
Yeah.
Her mother is played by her actual mother, Diane Ladd.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. So like when she's like in scenes with her mother, like that's really, can you imagine?
That's not.
Yeah. Um, and so Diane Ladd and Bruce Dern, who is Laura Dern's father, they met while appearing in a 1961 stage production of Orpheus Descending
I
by
see.
her cousin Tennessee Williams.
Wow,
I
wow,
don't
wow.
even know how to Kevin Bacon that into like
That's not.
how many degrees of whatever, but it's a small world, everybody.
That's a tangled
As my
web.
mother would say, mind your P's and Q's. I
Yeah.
have something that's completely unrelated,
Okay.
but Mike came home yesterday and he went out to for a work meeting with a friend and like doesn't matter. Anyways, as some dude he didn't know, comes home with a bass guitar.
Okay.
And I was like, what's up with that? And he's like, our friend, he was like, do you want a bass? Because he knows the kids are super into music right now. And I was like, I was just thinking, oh, I know what my first song I'm going to teach myself is, and it's going to be the theme song for Twin Peaks.
Hell yeah.
How easy would that be?
I
And then I can get the
wonder.
kids to do the synth, and then I'll, we'll be the Von Trapps. Okay,
That would be the
that's
dream.
music. It would be.
It was music, yeah. I love it. And we've chatted about the snakeskin jacket a bit as
And the
well.
jacket,
Right.
sorry.
What else we got?
There's just so much.
Okay.
So favorite actors. I mean, this is a great cast.
Yeah.
Um, Diane Ladd, Nick Cage, Laura Dern. I always love seeing Harry Dean Stanton. If you Google
Hmm
his
hmm
name, you will absolutely, he's in everything. He's
He
in
is.
everything. And I just always appreciate his characters. And in this, he plays like the crazy mother's husband.
No, no.
Um,
Is he the husband or is he the new husband?
I can't quite understand the relationship.
It feels like he's like a boyfriend, like a kind of like somebody she's like tagging along kind of thing
Oh,
that like
right. Right.
does like he's a private eye, I think does work for her sometimes.
Yeah. But he's also like, she's stringing him along, but
Yes.
they're not really together. I couldn't quite make sense of it. And I might have been lazy eyeing some of this. Okay.
The scene
Um,
where he is like she's trying to convince him to do the stuff and she makes the weird noises and crawls towards him.
yes. So I just watched um
Great
that
stuff.
no, I just watched that movie with Jennifer Lawrence and Robert
Oh,
Pattinson
Die My
called
Love?
Die My Love, and her character does that.
Yes.
Crawls around like a panther. And
Yes,
I
she
was
does.
like, I wonder where they got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it sure did happen in Wild at Heart in
How did you find that?
1990
How did you find that movie? It's tough going.
on the airplane. Oh, I found it on the airplane indeed.
Sure.
Sorry. Sorry
Sure.
that we have these little cultural differences,
Yeah.
everybody. So I found the movie as in like, did I like it or not?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think it's a movie that's just like sheer enjoyment. I think it's a good, well-made movie, but it's
yeah.
brutal. It's really
It's
brutal. Yeah.
brutal to watch. Her character is so self-destructive,
Yes.
you know, postpartum, maybe just a little kooky anyway. I don't know. It was interesting seeing that. I think I just kind of like watching them interview. I think the two of them probably had a lot of fun making the
Yes.
movie together. Because it's so weird, man. It's
I,
kind of, I felt like I was watching Mother. I felt like I was watching like a Darren Aronofsky movie a little bit.
Yes, 100%. It feels, yeah, I suppose it definitely starts a wee bit at the end there with like Mother or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yep.
But I think there was some great stuff in there. Like it's just like encouraged me to like look up. There's a line that I loved in it, which I think really described a sensation that I've kind of really been struggling to track down, which was she goes to a party at one point and somebody says, "What do you do for work, Grace?" And she goes, "I don't. I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can hard relate with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I can
I
hard relate.
absolutely, absolutely. And I just think her work is interesting.
It is?
I think both of their work, their choices for the movies that they choose to make, knowing kind of like where they came from,
Yeah.
her coming from the Thunderbird, Mockingjay, what is it?
Oh, the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, thank you. And then him coming from like the Twilight movies, of which my daughter is starting to read.
Hmm.
The
Oh.
Twilight book is on her
Hmm.
bed. I know, and I'm like, oh,
It's
she's
just
11.
reading. I think it's important that,
11.
reading's
Yeah, it's a
important, I
big,
think, regardless of
yep.
what it is.
She's like, I like vampire romance. I'm like, okay. Anyways, super off track, but
Yes.
I finished it. I
Yeah,
watched the
okay.
whole damn
Okay.
thing.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, sorry to knock us off the rails there. Go on, sorry,
No,
what were
it's
you
good.
saying?
I love it. No, I was just talking about like I was about to talk about Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah. See, whenever he first entered, I was like, what's going on with his teeth? And it's it's awful.
It
It's
just gets worse.
awful.
It's get
It does.
worse, gets worse. And I'm like, are those his real teeth? And it's like, then I'm like, no, this is probably David Lynch just making you be like, that
Yeah.
doesn't quite look right.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite look right.
See later on when he puts the like mask over his face and with those teeth, it is awful. It's
Yeah.
horrifying.
And I was like, how many movies is Nicolas Cage going to put a stocking over his head and rob
It's
somebody?
true, actually. It's a good
And
point.
this is the second movie I've seen him do it because
Gotta go
we just
onwards
watched
now.
Raising
That's a
Arizona
good
and he did
point.
that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I was like, I've seen this before. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I was trying to think about like common, like what are the themes? What are the common themes? I came up with like obviously it's like it's a love story, like love in a like a
Yep.
hellish world. Um, like it's a road movie, like
Yep.
journeying to whatever that journey was, them being having a baby and getting married, and him
Yeah.
singing "Love Me Tender."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
that
but
beautiful happy ever after of that
right,
situation.
right.
Yeah.
But I saw it was like, it's always interesting to see movies like backwards where you like watch the Tarantino and then you watch the Lynch
Uh-huh.
movies and you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I see where. So I feel like this is an original and so many, not copies, but like inspirational movies
100%.
were made after. So
Um, love it. I mean, and I suppose like as well, in turn, this is probably influenced by something like Badlands and things like that, like and
yes,
there's so many or
totally.
Bonnie and Clyde, or like actually Bonnie and Clyde, things like that. Um, I love it. Can I give you some random
Yes,
thoughts that I had,
yes,
which
yes.
is watching Nicolas Cage is giving me dance goals. Like I just kind of loves how
Mm,
he kind of throws himself about and does like karate chops and things like that. And like
yeah,
high leg kicks and shit like that. That's like how
yeah.
he gets out of a car, like he front flips forwards. Amazing. Um, I liked at one point later on, and it's like not played for laughs. He's just got two cigarettes in his hand. He's smoking them both at the same time, and I'm like, that
I wrote
rocks.
I wrote that down. Nick Cage smoking two cigarettes together after
Just
finding out she's pregnant. And
just
he just
matter
like
of
gets
matter of
picks up two
factly.
cigarettes and lights them. And I was like, that's a good way to react if someone's like, I'm pregnant.
Um,
And she's
I
like,
also,
oh no.
I also, the last one for me was, I really think I really like the concept of when you're angry at somebody, throwing a glass of water at a framed photo of them is a great move.
Yeah.
I want to start doing that, I think. Ideally. I
You're
think
gonna need a lot of photos
I'm
because you
gonna need
have
a
a
lot of
lot of
photos.
friends.
I do, it's true, it's true.
You'd be
I'm
like,
not
okay,
that angry
who's
at
here
them a
that
lot
I'm
of the
mad
time.
at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Amazing.
But
Just
they
love
need to
that.
be in the room too.
Yeah, it's true. Or at least video it. Send it
Yeah,
to you.
I wrote down the mother's wigs. She had a great assortment of
She
different
did.
wigs. Yeah. So, again, you look and you're like, that doesn't look quite right.
Does he?
So they didn't quite they you could tell she was wearing wigs. You could
Yes.
tell.
Yes. Um, so what other, do you have any other bits and pieces or anything else you
I
want to
do.
talk about?
I've got some facts.
Go for it.
I've got some facts. I've got some I heard that. Good for
Me?
that was
What?
like
Heard what?
a three. I'll rate it.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so
must try harder.
yeah, there was a lot of cigarette smoking in this movie
Yeah, there
actually.
was.
So during filming, Laura Dern passed out when David Lynch asked her to smoke 4 cigarettes at once in one deep inhalation. They didn't put this part in the movie, I
Why?
don't think. I
Why?
know. When she came to, she saw a worried David Lynch standing above her asking, Tidbit, are you all right? So he called her Tidbit.
He's such a sweetheart.
I know. Um, this makes me understand Nick Cage a little bit better, which I think we all need. Nick Cage states that while it hurt helped him to get away from method acting, uh, David Lynch's, sorry, to understand, yeah, to get away from method acting, David Lynch's spontaneous rewrites and the film's odd characters helped him to be more playful with the craft.
Okay.
And I can't remember when Raising Arizona came out.
Before this,
Okay. So this probably, because I know he was like trying to make suggestions for Raising Arizona for the
yeah.
character, and the Coens were just like, nah. So it sounds like I feel like the word away doesn't need to be in this. I feel like he is method.
Yes. Yes.
So that's my bad. Me reading the copying and pasting the wrong thing from the
It's
internet. Shh. I
probably
think of this
good
stuff all myself.
good for his career that he did figure that out at this stage.
Yes, I have a Willem Dafoe story.
Go for
So
it.
Willem Dafoe, that he walks in and he's like, "I need to use the bathroom," and then he goes and he pees in the toilet. That's actually him peeing.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
He goes in to visit Laura Dern and asks to piss in your head, and that
Uh-huh.
was a weird conversation where he's like, "Don't mean on your head, I mean in your toilet or whatever." So apparently Defoe drank a great deal of bottled water and really needed to go. Only later did he find out that the toilet was not working and some poor crew member had to go and clean it
Oh
and suck all
no.
the pee-pee out. Can we talk about the name of the jail? He was in PD Correctional
Oh yeah, I
Institute or
noticed that. Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like it was Peedeedee.
Yeah,
He's like, babe, when I was in PD, and I'm like, it just rolls off the tongue, man.
it does. It's true.
Why do you choose to name it PD? I don't know.
He's a very
Someone Google
southern.
that. It is. It is.
I'm doing it. I'm on it. All
Big
right.
Tuna, Texas. Sorry. Laura Dern. Um,
That's a place.
Laura Dern's son,
Hmm.
Ellery Harper. She's married to Ben Harper, I think. Met David Lynch and expressed an interest in seeing the films they'd made together. Lynch told him not to watch this film until he was 30 because not because of his mother's performance, but because of his grandmother's performance.
Oh,
Which
really?
I agree, I would agree with that. I would
I
agree with that.
yeah, that would be upsetting actually to see your grandmother like that, I think for sure.
Yeah. Um, okay, and then I've got some Nicolas Cage facts.
Okay.
Uh, some of these, this man is just quite an interesting fellow. If we had more time, if there was like a fifth week in the month or whatever, I would watch the movie he just did with Pedro Pascal.
Hmm,
I
hmm, hmm.
don't remember what it's called, but
It's got
it's
like a
like
really elaborate name. I know exactly what you're talking
it's
about. Yeah.
so fucking good, and it's all, but it's like it's sort of like
Fourth wall.
breaking the fourth wall, and it's him playing himself, um, and he has a super fan,
Yes,
and it's very interesting. Uh, okay, so he's just an interesting dude.
he is.
Once he woke up in his house in Orange County in bed in the middle of the night to find a naked man eating a fudge stickle in front of his bed. What would you do, Andy? If that
It seems
happened.
like for somebody who used to party with Charlie Sheen,
Yeah, I
it
was like,
does
nah,
not massively surprising to me,
not
honestly.
surprised. Okay. So yeah, so you had mentioned his comic book collection.
Yes.
So his stage name was taken from a comic book character,
Hmm.
Luke, Luke Cage.
Cage. Yeah.
Uh, one of the reasons he divorced Lisa Marie Presley, I
Hmm.
guess, was not over comic books. That would have
Hmm.
been my reason.
That would break a point for me.
Yeah, was because her first husband, Danny Keough, lived in a guest house on the property, and Cage found that highly inappropriate.
Very fair.
So when he got rid of that comic book collection, he donated uh $2 million of whatever sale
Hmm.
to the Amnesty International for a fund to help child soldiers.
That rocks.
Why are there child soldiers? Um, that's
Uh,
another topic
yeah,
for
let's not
another
get into that.
day.
It's not good. Yeah.
So I think he's back to collecting comic books,
Good.
and he sees them as being today's equivalent of mythology.
I think that makes sense. And I've heard that
You
as well,
know,
like even talked about in terms of like, what the Marvel movies are as well in that way, like kind of a modern mythology.
I mean they're definitely like when you watch, yeah, yeah, I feel like they take a lot from old mythology and
100%.
roll it into new mythology.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's Thor in there and Iron Man
Because there is, right? Two of the classic titans of ancient mythology.
and Daredevil.
And
Who is
Daredevil. Oh,
and who? Which one? Okay, sorry. This is the one that we
go for it.
Charles and I can. Nick Cage was a superhero with a flaming head. What was his name?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Thank you.
He's also in like a new Spider-Man show as like Spider Noir as well as like
Okay. Is
um
he the voice?
no, it's a live action show on Prime. And so basically there is like there's so many different versions. Have you seen any of the Spider-Man the animated the
Multiverse.
recent yes. So you know the Spider Noir, he voices that. It's that
Okay,
character but in live action.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's I
Okay.
if it's not out, it's out soon.
Okay.
Um okay. Shall we get into our final three
Yes.
sections here?
Yes. Yes.
Um so first of all, who does it to fit? Who had the best outfits in the movie? I feel like it has to be Sailor for the snakeskin jacket. I mean, like Lulu is also up there, but like all of her stuff is
Uh,
like scandalous for the
yeah,
most
she wears a
part.
lot of
She
nylons.
does. She does. But I think I mean, like also I feel like I can't remember the name of William Blown Dafoe's character. Bobby, is it? I kind of like Bobby's
Bobby, it's something weird. Bobby Sass or something. Someone, everyone's screaming at us right now. Sorry, we don't remember.
Bobby. It's
It's
Bobby
good though.
something, but I like
Yeah.
his like little bolo tie and things like that.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it's got to be Sailor for me. Okay. Andy's Animal Acting Award for excellence in animal acting has to go for the dog carrying the severed hand. That's
Yeah.
just such an unnecessary daft bit. Like that is the sort of shit that makes it like really silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a guy gets his hand shot off and he's like, "Where we can sew your head back on if we can get it out." He goes, "Where is the damn thing?" And then you see a dog walking out with a severed hand for no reason.
Yeah.
It rocks. It fucking
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so Beth,
Mhm.
in terms of revisit, remember, refuse, or redo, what are your thoughts on Wild at Heart?
I I went into this thinking I would think one thing and I left thinking something else.
Okay.
I think it's worth I at first I was like, this is obviously a remember, but then like 10 minutes into it, I was like, girl, let things surprise you. And this
Yeah.
movie was definitely surprising. So I think I would land on revisit, but I want to
Yeah.
wait like a decade
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
and
It
watch
wouldn't
it
be
again.
something a regular watch. I don't think it could be.
No.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
definitely think it's an important piece of cinema.
Yeah. I, I,
Definitely.
I think ultimately I landed and remember, like I think like it certainly isn't my favorite Lynch, but like I enjoyed it and there was lots of good stuff in there. I also think probably in terms of like narratives, it was probably like for better for worse, one of the more cleaner narratives, like in a Lynch
Yeah.
film. But like it's great to see like both beautiful young Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern just like, being sexy together. That's nice. And also like Willem Dafoe's just wonderfully sleazy in it. Like he's just so great.
He's so good.
And
I
like,
guess this is another fact. So, it was David Lynch's idea for the two of them. They did, I will say, like both Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage. Like, I feel like this movie would have been a different movie if they weren't in it, and I probably would have had something else to say.
yes,
But I think the two of them really did a good job. It
100%.
won the Palme d'Or
I
at
know, I know, it's
Cannes.
not nuts. I know.
Yeah, and some people were like, it was like really controversial, and there were people that were like clapping when they won, and also people that were yelling when they won. So it's just yeah, I do think. Like I can understand why it would be a remember, but I
Yeah,
think if you haven't seen it before or you're a Lynch fan, like it's worth giving it a lazy
absolutely.
eye.
Absolutely.
Smoke those two cigarettes and give it a watch.
Hell yeah. Two at a time, please, at least.
Yeah,
Or
only
four if you want.
only.
You want to pass out.
I'll light them for you.
Yeah. Okay. So Beth, what has been bringing you joy this week?
Um, I a lot of things, but I think like if I had to settle on one thing, I was on the plane. I slept for like an hour.
Nice.
So I
Oh,
had
well,
lots
that's
of time to
nice.
watch the movies. I was like, and I just gone to Stratford upon Avon, and I was like, I just jumped back into the Shakespeare in Love pool, and it felt so nice, and it brought me so much joy.
And that's a nice tonic after watching Die My Love.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I
yeah.
watched Die My Love, and then I was like, I need something happy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I was
Absolutely.
like, I remember, yeah, feel and it's so well done. I love, they got a little creative with, we don't actually, this is much like Stonehenge, we don't know a lot about Shakespeare.
Yeah,
So they took a lot of creative freedom,
yeah,
much like Hamnet
yeah.
did as well. But I just loved it. I
I
loved
know.
it.
Great. Love it. Okay, so for me, actually, so right, okay. There's a video game that I played through. It was only about I'd say about 3 hour, 3 to 4 hour experience that I just completed at the weekend there called Mixtape that I
That's not
fucking
long.
adored. It's not long. So I don't think I've done this before. It's a video game I think you should play. Um,
Oh.
like it's basically I think you would really resonate
What's
with
it
it.
called?
Mixtape. So
Mixtape.
basically, it's not like people like there's a lot of people bitching about it not being a proper video game because there's not tons of like actual gameplay in it, but it's essentially
Hmm.
about these three kids. It's actually kind of getting into our theme for next month. Basically, these three kids coming to the end of their life in this small town.
Whoa.
One of them is obsessed with music, and she makes a mixtape for their night. And the three of them, this group of friends, are planning to go to this big party, and then she's leaving the next day to go to New York to be like because she wants to become like a music supervisor. So like she's obsessed with finding the right piece of music for the right moment, and it's just about that, and it's just this kind of like But I think like it's getting a lot of like shit, and but mostly by people who suck. But it's like it's got really kind of like authentic kind of grounded like dialogue. I think the writing's just fantastic, and it just feels like I said to my friend, it really feels like it's going for the nostalgia jugular, but it feels like it earns it in a way that some other things don't quite. Like if there's like an authenticity to like these kids, basically in the 90s. So
Hmm.
much of the music I think you'll love as well, but like in like a lot of the times you see depictions of that and they're very sanitized, but like at one point you see these kids like picking up this like gas canister that was clearly being used for doing whippets, and they're like, "What was that used for?" And they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
so like, it's not afraid to go into those areas. Even how they talk is really brutal and like filled with swear words and stuff. But yeah, it's really lovely, and I think you would really resonate with it.
Okay. Okay. I wrote it down. I
Love it,
wrote it on the paper.
love it. All
I
right,
wrote it in metallic silver.
perfect, perfect. That way you'll definitely remember.
Exactly.
Okay. So next week, I'm pretty excited about this. We're going to be watching Moonstruck, which I've never seen, and I've often wanted to see, so I'm excited to see it.
Mm.
What a powerhouse talking about powerhouse
Oh my
couples.
God.
Sharon Nicolas Cage,
Oh
yes
my
please.
God. I know. I'm
Okay,
excited too.
right. So Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us at movietestofTime.com. You can find us on the Facebook and the
Mm.
TikTok and the
Ooh,
Instagram.
all of the above,
Please, you can also email us at movietestofTime@gmail.com. Send us recommendations.
please, please.
Um,
You say we're going
there,
we're looking for summer movies. We're like next month.
yes,
So like
yes.
if you've got any thoughts in that regard, would love to hear them.
Yep, yep. We're making our list now, so let
We
us
are.
know.
We are. All right. Okay. Great stuff, folks. What did we have a new ending thing that we wanted to do? I meant to ask you this beforehand.
Yeah,
I
you guys were working on our ending. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you were gonna. just do the redo of the
Okay,
words and have it.
I've got my standard. Don't worry until we land on something
Okay.
else. So,
Yeah.
and as always, we like to say goodbye to our Beale jumping and nostalgic fans.
Yeah, that's you too.
Bye. Love
Bye. Love
you.
you.